to a new episode of Books and Beyond from the Winter Park Library, recorded live in the recording studio at the library in beautiful Winter Park, Florida. In Books and Beyond, we have conversations with writers, musicians, artists, presenters, and other contributors. Most of our guests have appeared live at the Winter Park Library or will be presenting soon. We hope you'll subscribe to the Books and Beyond podcast and that you'll stay up to date with library goings-on at winterparklibrary.org/events. That's winterparklibrary.org/events. I'm Michael Werner, and I'll be your host for our interviews. Enjoy the show. Buenos dias, damas y caballeros. Hello out there, everybody. We have a multicultural event for you today. That's why I threw in a little Spanish there, but don't be worried. We're going to do it in English. Before we get started with the actual guest and our podcast episode, I wanted to mention a couple of notes, a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, if anybody has any comments for us about the podcast, you can send us a message, an email at podcast@winterparklibrary.org, or you can leave us a comment if you do a review or a rating on the podcast platform that you're using, which we would appreciate you doing. If you leave us a note there, that's fine as well. And then finally, wanted to mention that the guests that we have today, and all of our guests actually usually are going to be performing here, some show, a talk, a reading here at the library. But if you missed the actual event that we're talking about today, please check back at winterparklibrary.org/events. That's winterparklibrary.org/events, because that's where we have all of our event calendars, and we have usually a couple of months in advance. There are dozens of shows, musicians, artists, all kinds of presenters here. So please check back there at winterparklibrary.org/events. So let's get on with the show. Today we have Thamara Bejarano. She is the founder and director of an organization called, help me out. I forgot the name.
Open Scene.
Open Scene. Thank you so much, Thamara. I forgot the name. I had been studying that name for 3 days and I forgot about it. And she has an associate with her, is Mariela Saad. She is the director of development for the organization of OpenScene.org. And they're both here to talk about an event that we have coming up on March 17th from 2 to 3 p.m. It's called Vida, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more in a moment. Open Scene, it was created, an organization that was created by Latina women. It focuses on multiculturalism through theater, festivals, workshops, and other activities. And as I mentioned, Thamara is the founder and director. She's here with us. She's a former journalist, writer. She's done a lot of things. I was looking at her bio. It's quite impressive. She was a professor at the School of Social Communication at the Central University of Venezuela. And she's been a consultant and an AV producer. She created Open Scene here in Orlando in 2019. And very excited to have her here today. So Thamara and Mariela, welcome to the Winter Park Library and our podcast episode about Vida.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
What a pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you.
To be back, because actually we love this space. We used to have a podcast that we produce here in the library, and it's an amazing space. We cannot stop saying to people, come to Winter Park Library and please enjoy all the magnificent facilities that they have.
Well, glad you mentioned that, because that reminds me to make another housekeeping note, is that we are in the recording studio at the Winter Park Library, which is open to all members of the library. And I think about once a month they have an orientation session that you can attend. Actually, I think you have to attend the orientation session before you can use the studio. But it's a great studio where you can record music, podcasts, which is what we're doing now, an ebook, an audiobook, anything that you want to do that's related to recording, music, anything else. So anyway, Thamara, let's get back to why you're here.
I love your accent, Michael.
Thank you so much.
When you call me Thamara.
Thamara?
Perfect.
Thank you so much. I practiced all weekend, Thamara.
That's why you forgot the name of the organization.
I forgot.
To remember
Yeah, because it's in English. The organization's in English, Open Scene. I was practicing my Spanish all weekend. Oh, boy. Okay. So you are with Open Scene, and you came from Venezuela. So give us a little bit about your background and what got you into this whole area.
All right. Well, I don't want to bring anybody down, so let me tell the short story. I had a wonderful life in Venezuela, in Caracas. I was a professor, a consultant, as you mentioned. But unfortunately, we've been living in the last 24, 25 years a horrendous dictatorship. So I was forced to leave the country. Some people that belong to the guerrillas there, they were students too, so we were like
The guerrillas.
yes,
The fighters, yeah.
yeah. So well, now short story, I'm here after 10 years, and I thought in that moment, if I need to start my life from scratch, let me do it doing the things that I always wanted, because yes, I love to be a journalist, I love to be an audiovisual producer, but I always loved theater. And I started looking for options to do theater in Spanish, and well, I just found one place, downtown Orlando, Mad Cow Theater, that does not longer exist, but they used to have a program of Spanish theater, and well, I joined them for a couple of years, and then I realized that we needed to do much more. The Hispanic community here is huge, and there are not so many options. So I thought, okay, let me try to do this, and I started Open Sing, and now 5 years after that, we are so happy to. I mean, all the achievements, all the beautiful connections that we have made, and the recognitions, and people telling us how we transform their lives or we touch their hearts. It's a beautiful experience. Exhausting? Yes. Sometimes very, very challenging? Yes. But it's an amazing
So
opportunity.
what kinds of productions or shows or events do you generally do? And then we'll talk a little bit later about the one here, but what kinds of things do you do?
We produce basically contemporary performing arts. Now we're moving more than producing to curate. We're trying to present the best that we can find nationally and internationally, produced by Latin artists or Ibero-American. So we're trying to share with locals the level of quality of what has been done, and it's amazing, because sometimes we are just used to consume. Can you help me here, Mariela?
Yeah,
Of
Mariela,
course.
yeah.
So yes, as you said, we're trying to move more towards like curating, kind of to present what's best in contemporary performing arts, not only at the national level but also international. So that's where we would like to talk about. And I know later on we're going to talk about our event here at the library, but that's what the Latin American Festival of Performing Arts it's about, right? We dedicate a week long to presenting these performances from all over, and even from local artists too. We have worked with almost everyone here locally to present at the festival. Our main
And that's a festival that's coming up in this
in
summer.
June, yes,
June, yeah.
in the summer, exactly, and it's a week long. It's very interesting. If you like, I can share a little bit of the structure. We have 3 days of online festival, which is completely for free, only a suggested donation. During those 3 first days that are online, people can enjoy of 2 activities per day, which are a workshop, which is dictated by a professional in their area, and they can be like, here in the States, or they can be from abroad. For instance, last year we had someone dictating a workshop from Venezuela, another one from Puerto Rico, another one from France, and it's very interesting because they shed a different light, give us a different perspective on the. And it all has to be like with performing arts, visual arts.
And the focus of the festival is things that are happening in Latin America, or
No, it's like there's not a specific theme, I would say. It's just that every performance or every person involved with what we're presenting, it's Latin talent or Ibero-American talent. So we want one of our main goals is to actually show to our communities that the Latin, the Hispanic have also a more contemporary proposal other than the folklore. We're usually well known for, our folklore, with
Sure.
is beautiful and very rich, and sometimes people think like, oh,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
So our goal is to say like, hey, we also have like some other cool stuff that
We grew up.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, and that's very interesting. And it's been very interesting to see the interaction and the response of the public here, and even the professionals in the performing arts, when they get like to, share with the people that we're bringing from other places in the nation and from abroad as well. Last year we had people from Teatro Dallas in Texas. This year we're gonna have some people coming from Washington D.C. to perform, people from New York. So it's very exciting and rewarding at the same time. And I wanted to bring something, another thing that we're really big into with all we do. We always say like we connect communities through the arts. So we're here in Orlando. We love our city. We love Winter Park. We're growing more diverse, right? And there are so many cultures, so many languages. And our goal is to overcome any barrier that separate us as human beings. And sometimes there's miscommunication because we don't speak the same language. We have a different culture, different beliefs. So our goal as an organization is focus on the fact that we're human and arts can, unite us. So more and more we're
That's a wonderful
aiming
mission,
towards, we're aiming more towards that there's nothing that's gonna prevent us from, having that shared experience and that rich experience of the arts.
And that means investing in technology to offer instant translation in more than 25 languages. We also use super titles, but
Subtitles.
yeah. But I mean, there's we don't believe in language barrier. We want you to experience the productions in the original language, but you will have the opportunity to understand because we are investing. We're very conscious in the way we can offer you different options to
enjoy the experience.
For you to try the experience. Then talking about barriers, that means economic barriers too. So we try to do as many events as we can without charging tickets for that. So we have another program called Voices during March, and we offer, we present plays or project plays, and always with talkbacks for people to talk, give the opportunity to people to reflect about these difficult, challenging subjects in life, and art can heal and can bring ideas and ways of healing.
And are your events in English or Spanish or both, or?
Both. So we have, again, like we want to offer a rich experience. So that doesn't stop us. It can be, if the main presentation that we're bringing is in Spanish, then you don't speak Spanish, you're going to have the subtitles, you're going to have like this AI technology that we invested on, which allows you to choose over 25 languages.
Wow.
So we have presented mainly in Spanish. There's also productions in English. So it's curious because most of the Hispanics speak English, but sometimes it can happen that they're gonna need like subtitles or get assistance from the AI technology. So again, like the language doesn't matter. We're even like planning on a production in Creole and French.
Wow.
Because that's one of our underserved communities. We have like the biggest Haitian community. I think like here in the States is based here in Orlando. And
Miami is
Miami,
the largest.
oh,
but
Miami. Okay, well, and we have like also like a
But
very
we have a very large Haitian community, and the Latin.
yeah.
So
Brazilians,
the Latin
you can say.
community is very complex because we have several layers of challenges. It's not only the Hispanic community that is huge; it's also the Brazilian community. They speak Portuguese. They are very large here, and we are working with them too. And then we have the Haitian community at the same. So 3 different languages, completely different cultures. Inside the Hispanic community, we have so many different cultures too.
Sure, sure.
So it's very, very challenging, but that's our main goal, connecting communities through the arts, because at the end, and we have proven that in these 5 years, how people, it doesn't matter where you come from, they sit there and join us and enjoy, and they allow themselves to be touched by the material they're witnessing.
I love that phrase, connecting communities through the arts. You should use that as your subtitle of your organization.
Yeah.
No, it's you do?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. Sorry.
No,
go
I
ahead,
was
Mariela.
going back to the language. We're a polyglot organization, I would say. Like we have we talk many languages, so that's it. That's the idea. It's very interesting, and that's what's fascinating about the organization and what we do. I think it's.
May I give you an example?
Please go ahead.
For the festival, for Vida. Let me talk about Vida.
And that's the show we have coming up this weekend, March 17th from 2 to 3. Yeah.
Correct. We are opening Vida the 22nd, but we are offering we are a winter park based organization, so we always love to try to be close to the home. So we have in the 17th here a sneak peek and talk back. People can see what is Vida about. Vida means life. For those that doesn't speak Spanish, is a journey without language limitations. It is people will enjoy phrases in Spanish, in Portuguese, in Arab. They won't need to understand. They will have the translation, the captions whenever it's needed. But it's just trying to enjoy the music, the dance, the illustrations, because we're working with a wonderful, wonderful team. It's an original music that we commissioned to Charles Griffin, an amazing composer from here. Anna Cuellar is the main performer and choreographer. She's originally from Mexico, but she worked 14 years at La Nova Cirque du Soleil.
Okay, Cirque du Soleil.
She's still working with Cirque du Soleil in other instances. Jamie Clark, an amazing cellist from Stetson University. Well, it's an amazing team.
So they will all be here on the 17th.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Okay.
Yes. And the 17th, we're going to be talking with Counselor Victoria Henry. Victoria has been helping us.
Yeah, she has been helping us because on this show, there's a component. It's going to be something that's enjoyable. It's going to be a musical journey. As Thamara was saying, there's going to be music and images. But deep, the message is going to be about well-being, right?
Okay.
Well-being, and so Victoria Henry is as Tamara said, it's a professional mental health counselor, and she's gonna be talking about the relevance of mental health, well-being, and art. How can art help us? So she's gonna be here conducting a workshop and having an interactive activity with the attendees.
Because Vida is a journey through the different stages of life and the emotions linked to those stages. So it's an opportunity to embrace emotions. It's an opportunity to feel. Everything in the show is designed to trigger those emotions, and we have done this with the guidance of a mental health counselor. So it's a very, very rich, very beautiful experience. But that is an example of the multicultural, multidisciplinary aspirations that we are committed to. Vida will be the main show. People will be able to enjoy from the 22nd to the 30th of March at Art Space in downtown Orlando.
Okay.
But here they can learn more about it on the 17th. This
on
Sunday.
the 17th, which is from 2 to 3 here at the Winter Park Library in the theater. By the way, I should mention that it's a free event here. But you should sign up at the library at Winter Park, library.org/events to guarantee a space. But you can come if you haven't signed up. But I'd suggest that you do sign up ahead of time just to guarantee a space. So carry on, ladies. I interrupted
Just
you.
very excited about it, and I hope to see people attending the event, and I can't wait to say hi, get to know our community more, tell them more about our organization. And just to add, Michael, to the layers of, because I think like there are layers of complexity that makes it like richer. We even incorporate into this show that, again, like you're gonna enjoy the on a sneak peek on the 17th, but for the main show there's even gonna be at the end of each presentation of each show, we're gonna have the creation of a collective artwork that it's gonna be purposeful, and it's gonna be completely related to the performance that people are gonna, or the
Here
experience.
in the Vida show.
Yes, in the show. So they're gonna be creating this with a local artist, which is from Brazilian origin. So again, this is a clear example of how Open Scene brings together different talent, not only local but from all over. How we I would say, I want to use the word exquisitely incorporate, like not only those talents, but the mix of the languages and the cultures and the talent, like, because it's again like multidisciplinary. Charlie did a great job, like with when we commissioned like the music.
Lisa,
And
we forgot Lisa Isato is a Norwegian illustrator. She's amazing. You need to check her works. Lisa Isato is allowing us to use some of her illustrations, and they're part of the show. And we are, how you call it, the la rifa del the book.
We're gonna have like a giveaway for the whoever attends to the previews, the sneak peeks, and the shows, and we're gonna like publish that how to participate. But we're gonna be giving away her book of illustrations.
Oh, wonderful!
Which was which is gonna be kind of like the background to all this beautiful performance that's gonna be happening. So.
Okay. I'd like to remind everybody we're here in the Winter Park Library recording studio, with Thamara Bejarano and Mariela Saad from OpenScene.org.
Yes.
They are very active in the community, and they're doing an event here this Sunday, March 17th from 2 to 3. It's a sneak peek of many of the things that they do. And you all have been here at the library before, I think, right? Or yes? Yeah, doing something similar? Or what have you done before here?
Ooh, do you remember? I'm pretty sure Jeremy remember it well. We did here a Spring Gala show with an amazing opera singer, and we created these beautiful videos while he was singing and explaining to the attendees the origins, the secrets and gossips around the backstory of these classical compositions of opera. And I think people really, we were talking about that, people really enjoyed that presentation. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we used to produce here 2 different podcasts that we put them on standby because we have a lot of things going on, but we want to go back to that. And
Yes. So we're always like coming here, and very thankful to have this space. It's wonderful, and people enjoy that our gala, and we're looking forward to bring more experiences to our community here at the Winter Park Library.
We are proudly members of the Winter Park Alliance, Arts and Cultural Alliance.
Yes.
We are.
Well, if anybody, for those of you who are listening, if you could, I think you can sense the excitement that both Mariela and Thamara have. So if they're just an example of what we're going to see at Vida, or what they do during the summer or year round here in the Orlando area, I think you're sensing a little bit of it now. So it's very exciting. Anything else you want to say about Vida before we wrap up today, or your organization in general?
Before we go back to Vida, I wanted to complete an idea about the multicultural, and you were asking about languages. For example, this year for the festival in June 17th to the 23rd, also it's going to be hosted art space in downtown Orlando. One of the groups we're bringing an amazing group from New York. That show is in English, but
Okay.
it's produced by Argentinians.
Okay.
Argentinians living in New York,
Uh-huh.
and they're
Argentine Canos, something like that. The Puerto Ricans that live in New York, they're New Yorkeños.
New Yorkers.
New Yorkans, New Yorkans,
Yeah, yeah.
so they are New York.
Argentine.
New York.
No.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a very
Yeah, that'd be
difficult
a hard,
word.
That'd be a hard one to do.
Yeah. But they besides their talent and their origin, half of the production they're I don't know how to the correct blind or low vision.
Yes, limited vision or blind.
Okay.
So part of the producing team.
Yes, so this specific show was created to make you feel as a blind person will feel. So it's it's
okay.
pitch black, completely in darkness.
As if
Okay.
you were blind.
As if you were
yeah.
blind.
Yeah.
So you will feel, hear, smell,
But you won't see anything.
but you won't see anything. And it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing
very
because
interesting.
it tells you the story about this immigrant, this musician, Argentinian musician coming to United States.
Who was blind? Who's blind?
Who is blind, but at the same time, so it talks about immigration. It talks about the music industry, the art industry. It talks about life. It talks about Argentina in those years of dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the story is so rich, so complete,
Sure.
and at the same time so inclusive. It's because when can you have the opportunity to experience how other people feel and live and I don't know, live is the word, the experiences,
Experience like that empathy.
so the amount of empathy it generates, it's very transformative. And we're bringing a wonderful piece from Miami. But people that we admire very much are Kai Images. They're producing Tebas Land. Tebas Land is an amazing play from the Uruguayan Sergio Blanco that is like the new Federico Garcia Lorca. He's the new Federico Garcia Lorca. And we're from Washington. We're bringing Teatro Gala with an amazing piece of Gustavo, that is a Venezuelan playwright winning prizes everywhere. And his plays
He's touring Europe, like all over. Yeah. It's Asia.
They're coming here in June for us, and then they're next day they're flying to Spain for another festival.
Wow,
so
wonderful.
Huge people, and again, different languages, different origins, different stories, but everything is united through.
We're all people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're all people. We're all human.
Yeah. That's wonderful what you're doing, and I can't wait to see your presentation or your show on the 17th.
Yeah, don't forget to come on the 17th.
Yeah,
and again, like I like to say this all the time. Please stop and say hi. Like, taking the time to get to know our community, and that, you see who's behind Open Scene, and that, we get involved and we get to know you, and, we just want to be a big family, and that you enjoy the shows, and, having that open communication always makes it, better and even more rewarding.
Well, and you're both very friendly, so I think you'll be very welcoming to anybody that comes.
Even without coffee.
Even without coffee.
Michael, if you allow me, we want
please.
to share with your listeners that they can check about us in our website, openscene.org, and in our Instagram,
which is at openscene_org.
Okay. And if somebody's listening here and is a performer or wants to be involved with your organization, how would they contact you?
Very easy.
Okay.
We're very responsive. So either you go on the website and then you send us a message there, which you have the option.
You have a comment section.
Yes,
on the
exactly.
Website, yeah.
Or if you want it like more direct on Instagram, you go straight and send a direct message. And again, we're very responsive. We're very on top of it. So
Okay,
yes.
that's wonderful. Well, we're going to wrap up here today, but I really, really thank everybody for being here, or both of you for being here, Mariela and Thamara. It's been a good episode, and I'm really looking forward to your show. So Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, amigo.
Muchas gracias. Y nos vemos el 17.
El 17.
Gracias.
We'll see you on the 17th. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Books and Beyond from the Winter Park Library. This podcast would not be possible without the generous help and support from the library staff, and especially from Jeremy Zorn. Jeremy's official title is Public Services Librarian, but he does many things here at the library, including producing this podcast. We can't do this without you, Jeremy. Our theme music is from the song Don't Go by Bovine Joe and the Buffalo Herd. That's Herd spelled H-E-A-R-D. We hope you'll let your friends and others know about this podcast and that you'll come by the library for one of our offerings, which you can find at winterparklibrary.org/events. That's winterparklibrary.org/events. If you have questions or suggestions for the podcast or just want to talk about Books and Beyond, please send an email to podcast@winterparklibrary.org. That's an email to podcast@winterparklibrary.org. Remember that the Winter Park Library promotes the free and open exchange of ideas and does not attempt to control or take responsibility for any opinions that may be expressed in this podcast. Opinions expressed in this podcast do not constitute or imply an endorsement or a reflection of the library's policies or beliefs. This is Michael Werner, wishing you well until our next episode of Books and Beyond.